Hi guys, Jade Morris here. I'm joined today by UFC middleweight Tim Kennedy. Now, Tim, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome.
Awesome, good to hear. Now, you were just telling me you were on your rest day, so what have you been doing today?
Uh, got this morning, had a bunch of fruit, and then went to a hot Bikram yoga class,
Oh,
and
wow.
just grossed out a whole bunch of chicks in there by being a 220-pound hairy dude that was looked like he was pissing himself for an hour and a half.
So it didn't
So
go down too well with the ladies then, no?
uh, I don't know, yeah. I don't think so. Under any, I was gonna try to think of a circumstance like, well, maybe if they're like from the equator and they're used to living in a rainforest, but then like any association I could like assimilate between what it was actually like in there to how disgusting I was too gross to try to put it into a clear metaphor. So I decided not to.
Well, it's better than what I do on my rest day, so hats off to you. Now, you've actually been quite busy outside of the cage. You've been involved in a TV show and a movie. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Uh, Both are going to be unbelievable. Both are going to be absolutely freaking awesome.
Good to know.
Both are, in contrast, couldn't be more dissimilar.
Oh.
One of them is kind of the TV show is it's going to be on the History Channel. It's very historically accurate. We're going to just some of the coolest locations on the planet, looking for the worst humans that have ever existed. We have a big budget to go to crazy places that pretty much nobody else can go. And I'm a special forces sniper, a ranger, a green beret, UFC middleweight fighter. There's places that I can go that most people can't go. And then with the History Channel behind me, I have access to get into some pretty crazy places. So that's the TV show. And then the movie is, have you ever seen the movie The Hangover?
Oh, I have indeed.
Have you seen the movie Zombieland?
I have.
Okay, so if you have The Hangover here, like that, and then you had Zombieland over here, and they went like this and made a really disgusting baby, that baby would be our movie. And the movie is a post-apocalyptic movie of a bunch of degenerate military guys that maybe possibly started the zombie apocalypse and are either trying to save themselves, save the world, or cleanse themselves of chlamydia. We're not sure which of any of those three things are going to be happening, or they'll be happening in conjunction. It's just disgustingly beautiful, and it'll be violent. I'm going to start I'm playing myself, and if a zombie apocalypse started like today, I'd just be smiles all day long. I'd be like, yes, I'm going to go from upper middle class to pretty much the ruler of all of North America. And it's no different in the movie. Like, yes, the zombie apocalypse, this is awesome. Zombies everywhere. They're eating people that I hate, so I'm fine with this. And I have guns because I have lots of guns. I have ammo because I have lots of ammo. And as the movie goes, I just start getting disenchanted with how boring the whole killing of zombie thing is. Like my career, I've been fighting like the worst trained killers on the planet, and now I'm fighting like guys that are like this. So I stopped using guns and I start using like swords. I stopped using swords because it's boring. I start using my fists. And then by the end of the movie, I'm pretty much naked, wearing a loincloth, running around putting my fists through zombies' heads and then teabagging them.
As you do.
Because that's probably what would really happen. And the movie is going to be amazing. I can't even... Well, I'm not at liberty to tell you how amazing it's going to be, but it will blow everyone's minds and expectations.
I think you've sold it to all of us now. Actually sounds fantastic. And so you probably can't tell us where you were filming, but I know you were filming in South America at one point as well, weren't you?
I was.
How is it filming down there?
So I came back to Austin, Texas on the day of summer solstice. It was it was like the longest, hottest day of the year for Texas. I left the southern hemisphere on the shortest, coldest day of the year, and I say southern hemisphere, I was like next to Antarctica. There's like
Oh my God.
Argentina is like this, and then Antarctica is like right here. I was like right there, like right in between the two.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cold. I'm like in the water, and it's like 1 degree, and there's a penguin like swimming next to me. I was like, a goddamn penguin. And if it wasn't so cute, I would have been really pissed. But it was goddamn penguin. It's cute, so you can't be pissed at a penguin. I mean, you're a horrible human if you're like.
No, see, penguins are cute.
They're so cute. But penguins live where it's really cold. I'm not sure if you know this, Jade, but it's cold where penguins
Really?
live. Yeah, I'm telling the truth.
You're not lying to me now, are you?
Nope, this is the truth.
Oh, well, it sounds super exciting. So when did you say this film? When did you say it's out? When can we expect to see it?
The show will debut in October on the History Channel, and they'll probably start putting out teaser trailers and announce the movie or the TV show in the next 3 weeks. The History Channel will, and like the places that I went, jungles of Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil, Colombia, mountains of Argentina, off the coast of Antarctica, in the waters of southern Argentina, the Valdez Peninsula. I mean, just pretty remarkable places where I was trying to find a way to drown myself or kill myself or destroy hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, which I did.
Isn't it true as well that you, because obviously I know you like deep water diving, and isn't it true that you were swimming alongside sharks or something? I'm sure I read something that there were sharks and it just didn't faze you at all. I just remember seeing something and think, this guy really likes his adventures.
Yeah, I have mental problems. They're like, is it? Nah, I don't know. I went to South Africa to dive with sharks. So now that I'm in Argentina and they have orcas there, maybe we were trying to chum the waters to get some sharks and orcas. Maybe not.
As you do. Now, before we get on to obviously your division, which is absolutely stacked, the hot topic of the week, as you know, is UFC 189. Now, it's official now that Jose Aldo, he's pulled out because of his fracture to his rib. McGregor's now facing Chad Mendes for the interim title. What are your thoughts on the fight? Because people have been saying different things. Because he's obviously, Aldo's a champion, but he's got a record of pulling out. McGregor's arguing that he thinks he's gotten to him and he's broken, his mind is broken. Aldo's now lashed back. What are your thoughts on it?
Have you ever broken a rib?
I've bruised a rib in jiu-jitsu, but I've never broken it, and hopefully I won't.
You can't breathe. You can't pee. You can't laugh. You can't sneeze, let alone throw a punch. So any athlete, and I love reading all these MMA dickhead journalists that are like, oh, what a pussy, he pulled out of a fight. I'm like, you ignorant bastard. You don't have a clue. How about this? Let me kick you in your ribs, and I just want to see if you can stand up from a chair, let alone go in and fight a title fight against the number one contender. So Jose Aldo has cleaned out his division, right? And now we have this loud Irish guy that can sell fights. I don't think he's going to beat Chad Mendes. And I don't think he'd beat Jose Aldo healthy, let alone with a broken rib. But the discussion should never have even taken place. You have an injured athlete, Jose Aldo, who's the champion, that was thrown under the bus and create an interim title. I mean, couldn't have been handled worse. You have an injured champion. Treat him like he deserves. He's the champion. He's the injured champion, and make sure he's taken care of. Don't humiliate him and give Conor the mic and deface Jose Aldo. That guy's the best the division's ever had.
And he actually posted as well. He posted the X-ray of his rib, and it
Yeah.
does actually look terrible. It looks so painful. So
Yeah. Well, the amazing thing about ribs is they're surrounded by a whole bunch of muscle and cartilage, right? So if you can see the damaged bone, and you can see the damaged cartilage, you can't even imagine the flaming, burning pain that is going on in all the muscles around there. It's just like horrible.
it's such a shame as well because I think everyone was just really looking forward to that fight. But I think it'll be an exciting fight with McGregor and Mendes as well.
Yeah.
Mendes, he's been in the cage with Aldo. He's the number one contender. So I think it will be an exciting fight anyway, and hopefully Aldo comes back, and we can see that fight. Another thing that was hot on the news this week, Reebok, your favorite subject.
I love Reebok.
Your favorite subject.
Yeah.
They've had a huge backlash this week. They revealed the fighter kits with the UFC champions.
Man, what a fantastic revelation. Man, those designs, spot on. Can't wait to get my Tim Kennedy shirt and make like 0.1 cents on it.
Well, the main thing that happened was obviously they'd misspelled a lot of the fighters' names. What was it? They had Giblet Melendez. So I think that was trending at one point. So I think
They even misspelled like in when they're like showing the products and the PowerPoint up on the wall behind them. They like misspelled words like flexibility.
I didn't know that. Oh,
It was amazing. I mean, not only are they disgusting and atrocious and horrible quality, and like I would never wear that stuff. And anybody that would go buy $100 Tim Kennedy shirt, like I don't want to be friends with you. You know.
Well, I was gonna say that was the other thing that they lashed out about was the price. Also, it was just I think what the fighters were most worried about as well, what they started talking about on Twitter was they are worried about their endorsements as well. Which most fighters obviously are a bit worried, especially if they've got really good endorsements.
Have you actually come across a fighter that was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I'm super excited about what I'm making from Reebok"?
I think I've probably seen a few.
In 500 athletes, have you interviewed one person that has said that sentence?
No. Not yet, I haven't.
Okay, so our boss, Dana White, says the fighters are going to be super excited about this deal, and we have 500 fighters, and we don't have a single fighter that's like, this is sweet. You got a problem.
Yeah, very true. It's not good.
One, you're a liar. And two, you have a bunch of athletes that are going to be disenchanted.
It is a bit of a nightmare. Well, with your division, before we get you too angry, so Weidman he was penciled to face Luke Rockhold in the Madison Square Garden. Obviously, MMA is still illegal. They've just not been successful with it. Weidman's now obviously come out and said that he thinks that Luke Rockhold, he needs to earn his place before he fights him. He's now saying there's rumours that Luke Rockhold might fight Jacare Souza for the number one contender spot now. Do you think that's fair? That makes more of a good fight? Because a few people were complaining, saying, Jacare Souza should have had the shot. What are your thoughts on the top three?
I think it's funny that the number 2 through 5 athletes are all Strikeforce fighters. Right, you're going to have 2 Strikeforce guys fight for the UFC championship, and then the 3, 4, and 5 guys are also Strikeforce fighters.
Well, I was going to say it would actually be an intense fight because Luke, we've lost him because Luke Rockhold, he actually caused a huge upset in Strikeforce when he took the belt off Jacare Souza. So it would be an intense fight again. Who do you think could win that matchup the second time round?
I don't know. I fought them both. Jacare hits harder. Jacare's grappling's better. I think Luke's wrestling's better. I think Luke's better at range. So it's really about who's going to be able to execute their plan in the fight, and that's what that's no different from any other fight. Jacare has been on a ramp. He's been destroying the middleweight division, and people have forgot about it. Is he 4-0 or 5-0 in the UFC?
He's 5-0 now.
5-0, right?
I think it's 5-0. Yeah.
Luke's 3-1.
Well, you, as you said, you actually, you went the distance with Luke Rockhold. Is that a fight you'd ever be interested in getting again in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I fought Jacare and Luke. I thought I beat Jacare. The judges disagreed. Well, a couple of them, but I think Chris, Luke, Jacare, Yoel, when Yoel's not cheating, and myself, on any given night, are you actually have to have us fight like 10 times to figure out really who's the better fighter, because on any night each of us could finish each other or inch out a close decision. Yeah, Jacare and Luke are both amazing. I'd love to fight him again, but Chris has his hands full with all four of us.
It's a killer division. Well, Yoel Romero, he won't be far behind them now. Is that infuriating for you? As if the stall incident hadn't happened, it'd be very different. Would you be interested in getting that rematch with him, or if you just moved on from it and you just want to get your next contender?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely infuriating. I can't even watch that fight. I get so pissed off. But not at Yoel. Yoel's a really good fighter, and even though I hate cheaters, he was doing the best thing that he could have done to win that fight. And it's something I would never do, but you got to tip your hat to him, because he really manipulated the rules and the system to give himself a chance to get back in the fight, which he did. And I completely, on the other hand, messed up, and I left the fight as he's trying to get back to the fight. So that's totally on me, and Big John McCarthy, that totally sucks. So not looking back, would I love to fight him again? Yeah. Would it be probably the same result of me knocking him down and him trying to find a way to cheat? Yeah. But he's really, really good. Yoel, Jacare, Luke, they're fantastic fighters. And Chris would have a tough fight with all three of them.
Well, it was scary watching Yoel against Machida, but he's hit the MMA news this week as well. After his fight with Machida, he made a few post-fight comments. Not sure if you've seen it. I'm sure you have. Caused a bit of controversy. Dana White came out afterwards. He said, anything religion, politics should be kept at home. Do you agree with that? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Like, if you want to dress all fighters to look the same, go for it. You own the UFC, do whatever you want. If you want all the fighters to fight the same, where we just stand there like Forrest Griffin and just slug it out until we have brain damage, cool, go for it. If you want us to keep all of our opinions to ourselves, what do you want? A bunch of robots fighting in the octagon? Or do you want human beings going out there pouring their heart and souls in front of the crowd? That's what I love about the sport. I love seeing, back in the day, Fedor and Sakuraba and dudes with souls and personalities just putting it all out there. Showmanship. That's what I fell in love about the sport. And even though I totally disagree with Yoel, and it's why you would ever say that, I have no idea. But he should be allowed to say whatever he wants,
Now, like you were saying before, it's a stacked division. You've got some absolute killers in there. You've got Anderson Silva as well. You've got Vita Belford. Obviously, you've got Jacare Machida. I'm trying to think who would be the best matchup for you next. You said you called out Machida twice. and it actually ended up being penciled in, but then he pulled out and then he was fighting Yoel. What actually happened there? Why did that happen the way it
I don't
did?
know. I don't know. I'm just a bad fight. People don't want to fight me, so whatever. Dude, I think I called out everybody in the division. Like I fought Joe Silva, our matchmaker, because I'm technically coming off of a loss to Yoel Romero. He likes losers to fight losers. So some people are like, why is Tim Kennedy calling out, Machida after he loses to Chris Weidman? Because that's who Joe Silva would let me fight. I'm trying to pick people that Joe would let me fight. And I've called out everybody.
I think someone put on Twitter, didn't they? Someone fight Tim Kennedy.
Seriously. My list is something like this. Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, Dan Henderson, Nick Diaz, Mousasi, and then Jacare, Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold. Those three are interchangeable, and Yoel Romero. Those guys you can just switch into any order.
Now, you always actually, I've noticed, you're always so calm when you walk to the octagon. Usually it's when we see you smiling the most. You always seem very happy when you're getting in the cage. Now, I always wonder, is that because of your military background? Obviously, you've been to war, you've faced a lot bigger things than cage. Is that why you've got that mindset because of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fight, I've been fighting for a minute, I'm an old dude.
Is it true Roy Nelson there punched sand out your ear when you came back?
He licked it out.
I think Joe Rogan mentioned it. I mean, speaking of training, there are obviously, there are a lot of high-level fighters at your gym. You've got Arlovsky, you've got Carlos Condit, you've got Cowboy Cerrone. What's it like training there? What's like an average training day?
You could have John Jones come in, if he's not getting in trouble. Cerrone and his little posse of guys from his ranch. Everybody that's always at the gym, and there's 20 other dudes names that you've never heard of that are just as good as the Carlos Condits and the Tim Kennedys and the Arlovskys. There's this kid there, Phil House, that he's going to be a champion. And, like, there's one or two areas that I have a chance of being able to hang with him. And that's, like, being old and crusty and being, like, stupid and strong. All the other ways, he's just better than me. So kids like that are just going to be blowing up the division in 6 to 10 months. But it's violent. It's beautiful. It's fun. Greg and Winklejohn have such a relaxed perception on training. Their approach is it's not regimented. It's not they're screaming at you. They want to see your own individual creativity kind of blossom when you're in the gym, and then they foster that and they try to take that own unique style and just build it up. So it's just fun.
Sounds fun. I'm very jealous.
And violent.
Sorry?
And violent.
And violent. And hopefully, like I say, all these people up and coming, and hopefully, we will see them in the UFC division. Hopefully it'll be a cleaner division as well. You're a long-time anti-drug advocate in the MMA world. Now, there's been a lot of change going on, especially this month. The UFC, they introduced their athlete marketing program. Now, what comes with that as well is the anti-doping agency, they're going to become a third party. And what they're going to be doing is coming in and educating the athletes on the new policies and what they can and what they can't do. Do you think this will help? This will help improve for the future, and it's the right step forward?
It is a step. And it is a step forward, too. I don't know if it's the right step. I don't think it's like a big secret to figure out who the steroid users are in the sport. Um, you know, if you could just walk into, I could handpick 4 gyms and be like, test their top 10 athletes from each gym. You'd probably bat around a 700 or 800% into getting your positive results.
Wow.
So, you know,
I do actually. I remember you saying to Ariel Hawani once. You said 60 to 70% of athletes you'll find.
Well, that was a baseball reference. Like when you're batting a 600 or 700, it means you're at a 60 to 70% of getting a hit.
I see.
Sorry, it's a baseball thing. I don't expect you to
say we don't really follow baseball in the UK, so
right.
We probably do a little bit, but
I'll go back to percentages. 70%.
That'd make it easier for me. So do you think as well, like, hopefully this does improve, the sport. Do you think this will, I mean, obviously it probably will affect the fighter rankings as well. Do you think, it might catch out a few more, a few champions? Do you think it's going to shake up the divisions, this new policy coming in this month?
I don't know. Who have they tested yet?
I don't know, actually. I don't know who they've started testing now.
Yeah.
I know they tried to test Aldo and that didn't go down very well.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he got booted out the gym. But they've also actually, they've decided to ban IVs as well. Now, quite a few fighters, they've taken to Twitter over this because they said, obviously a lot of people, for fans who don't know, some fighters do use it during the weight cutting process, the IV rehydration. What are your thoughts on that being banned?
That'll change stuff up. I take 2,000 milliliters of IV after I get off the scale. That's 2 big bags of IV fluid that I take after I weigh in. So
it's not looking good for because apparently they went into ATT.
It'll change things.
Yeah, I think because they go around all the gyms, because I know they went to American Top Team because they were all tweeting about it, saying that it started happening and now the reps were going round to let the fighters know. A few fighters made the comment that we're going to see a lot of fighters have to go up a weight class. Do you think that would be the case?
No, not for me. I actually got an email today. I was going to pull it up for you from the UFC that was explaining from Jeff Noziski. UFC anti-doping policy. So the anti-IV thing, according to this UFC email right here, both the UFC and USADA, blah, 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 blah. It won't go into effect until October.
Okay.
So to remain consistent with this practice, given that IV infusions are not expressly prohibited by the state commissions that regulate the sport, nor by the unified rules of mixed martial arts, the use of IV infusions for rehydration will be prohibited beginning on October 1st. The rest of the WADA prohibits list will still fully be apply as of July 1st. But it's still totally gray because athletes are strictly responsible for any prohibited substance found in their body. No intravenous fluid replacements or rehydration purposes. So,
very interesting. Now, you just to get back onto the topic of fighting, you were looking for November to fight. Is that still the case? You want to get back into the cage within the next few months?
Oh, they give me a good fight.
Hopefully we'll get to see you in the cage soon.
I'm not going to fight the fight. I don't need the money. Not that they don't pay us anything anyways. I'm going to fight because I like to fight. I wish they paid us, but they don't. I got a family. I have a brain I have to take care of. And, people forget about the absolute violent abuse that goes that happens to the athletes getting ready for these fights. I go make a TV show. I make way more money, and I get a lot more brand recognition from me going to appear on a History Channel show. I'm never going to be a guy that's like going to be able to walk away from fighting. I love fighting. So, Joe Silva has to come to me and say, hey, you get to fight Anderson Silva in Las Vegas. And I'm like, awesome. When? November? Fantastic. I'm there. But it's gonna have to be something like that. It's gonna have to be something significant. It's gonna have to, something that makes my dick hard about fighting. So.
Right, fight fans, you need to start tweeting. Tweet to Joe Silva, and we'll get this fight organised. Hopefully, we'll see you back in the cage soon. But
Yeah,
thank you
love fight.
so much for taking time out to speak to us. Really appreciate it. And it's such an exciting division, and hopefully, we'll get to see you back again soon.
Yeah, don't forget you got Roy McDonald and Robbie Lawler.
Oh, it's a shame that fight has gone under the radar, because I think that's going to be, when Rory McDonald is on his game, it's so exciting to watch, because he just seems to be able to neutralise fighters very easily. But Robbie Lawler, he has fantastic knockout power. I think it's going to be such a good fight.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it. I'm kind of for Robbie because he's a Strikeforce guy too.
Yeah, very true. But I think that fight card, even though the problems with Aldo, it'll still be a very exciting fight card. Dana's probably going white by now. For all the problems of him. Oh, thank you so much, Tim, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, ciao.